Hello ladies, and welcome back to Milwaukee. It is dessert week, and this is my Pina Colada carrot cake with Philadelphia cream cheese frosting. You know what that is? That is Paula Deen in cream cheese frosting. She is made of real Philadelphia cream cheese, and she's gonna be delicious. This cake is so special to me because my mom invented it, and she's been baking it for me since I was just a little baby, and I've had it for every single birthday. I have to have carrot cake. I must, and it has to have cream cheese frosting or it is not a carrot cake. But what makes it special is it has pineapples, coconuts, walnuts. It is like a tropical party in the middle of autumn in your mouth. It's awesome. Okay, so another great thing about this cake is it's extremely easy to make and it takes a very short amount of time and everything comes in easy measurements, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we start with our ones. We need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then we move up to 1 cup of chopped walnuts, 1 cup of crushed pineapple, 1 cup of shaved coconut, and then we need 1 cup of vegetable oil, and we need 1 entire package of Philadelphia cream cheese and 1 cup powdered sugar, and that's going to make the awesome icing. And then we move up to 2, and then we need 2 cups of all-purpose white flour. We need 2 cups of brown sugar, and then we need 3 cups of finely grated carrot, and moving up to 4, we need 4 eggs. Okay, so this takes literally no time to make. We're going to start with our dry stuff first, so starting with the flour, and then we're going to take the sugar, which is 2 cups of the sugar. It was 2 cups of the flour, and we're going to take the baking soda and baking powder. That's a teaspoon each, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're just going to mix that up real good. Now, when I was living in Hawaii, one of the sweetest things my friend did was make me this cake, and we were living in the dorms, and we had barely any money, and we had no cooking supplies whatsoever to speak of, and we had this tiny little kitchen that, we were sharing with like hundreds of other students, and she got this little grater from like a grocery store. It's about this big, and she called my mama, and she got the recipe, and she sat there, and she grated carrots all day long with this teeny little grater, just grating these huge carrots, and she made me this awesome cake, and it was so sweet of her, and I think you could taste the love. I'm going to be honest, you could taste the love. So now would be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, if you haven't done that already. And now we're going to mix the wet things up in the other bowl here. So we have the 1 cup of veggie oil, and then we have 4 eggs. And the most disappointing birthday cake experience I ever had was I was living in North Carolina, and I didn't get to have my mom's birthday cake, so I was desperate to find another type of carrot cake, and I found this really sick carrot cake bar at a gas station because I couldn't break the tradition. And then my friends took me to karaoke, and they dared me to sing whatever song that they would put on, and so I agreed to it. And they put on Madonna's Like a Virgin, and I only knew the chorus, so I was up there kind of through all the verses, and it was kind of embarrassing. I didn't get my cake, and I was pretty sad, but I still ate carrot cake, so I didn't break the tradition, but it wasn't my mom's, so you can imagine. And that was my 21st birthday, but I did have a stranger buy me a rose at a bar, so everything ended up okay. So we've whisked our eggs and our oil together here. So, adding the flour, the baking soda and baking powder into our mix, and I'm going to switch over to a wooden spoon. And now, she says, don't mix it too much or it gets gluten-y. We're going to add our coconut, 1 cup of coconut, shredded coconut, 1 cup of crushed pineapple, all of our carrots, here we go, 3 cups of finely shredded carrots, and a whole cup of walnuts. And then basically we're just going to mix our mixture. Mix our mixture, is that redundant? We're going to toss our mixture. Okay, and we're just mixing it just enough to get everything wet. Okay, and we're careful not to overmix this cake because there are just so many good gooey ingredients that once they start cooking, they're just gonna bake into everything. So careful not to overmix, okay? All right. Okay, now we're going to pour this in 2 pie plates. And I chose one that's just a little bit bigger and flatter, and that's going to be the bottom of our cake, and one that's a little deeper here. And spatula here. And we're just going to pour in about 1 inch deep across a 12-inch pie plate. You know, and now that I'm looking at this, this is not 1 inch deep. This is about 1/2 inch deep. And once we've got our pie plates filled up about yay high, we're going to stick it in the oven for about 25 to 35 minutes, depending. So you're just going to stick it with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, then you'll know it's done. So let's get cooking. Okay, so the cake is baking, and we're letting the cinnamon and carrots and walnuts all have a chance to get acquainted with each other. We are going to make the icing. So start with an entire block of Philadelphia cream cheese, and we're just going to add 1 cup of powdered sugar, and that's it. We're going to mix it together. Now, depending on how sweet you like your icing, since the cake is so sweet and there's so many flavors going on, I don't put a lot of powdered sugar in, but you definitely can add more if you like it a little sweeter. The nice thing about this cake is you can throw it together so fast, in less than an hour, in about 45 minutes, and it looks like a lot of time and energy and love went into it, which, I mean, who's going to argue? Definitely a lot of love went into it. This is a cake 28 years in the making, so definitely a lot of love went into it. But it makes a nice gift cake to bring to a party just because there's so many fun ingredients. You got veggies and nuts. And now we're just going to let them cool either by an open window. You could put them in the freezer if you're in a little bit more of a hurry, or in the fridge. I'm just going to set them in the fridge for about 5 minutes, let them cool. Okay, so your cakes have had about 5 minutes to chill in the freezer or the fridge. And we're just going to take the one that's going to serve as the bottom, our base of the cake, and we're going to take it out of the greased pie pan, so it's going to slip out nice and easy onto this plate. Hopefully, we did it right. You can just use a little Crisco for that, or butter, or veggie oil, whatever you like to grease your cake pan with. And this is how I do it. Just give it a little shake, and voila! Isn't that lovely? And we're going to do our first coating of icing. Okay, now we are putting the second cake on top of our larger base cake, and just flip it over, holding a hand underneath it to make sure it doesn't fall out. Try to center it right there on top and give it a little shake. Give it a little shaker, shaker. Voila. Okay, and then we're just going to straighten it up a little bit. And now we're just going to put icing over the entire cake with our big fat spatula. You know, one more great thing about cake, not that I have to sell you on cake because, you know, it's cake and you get to have it and eat it too, is that since we're using Philadelphia cream cheese, it makes a nice white background and it works basically like a canvas. So if you want to give it as a gift, you could say paint your friend or a favorite pet, or maybe, you know, a parody of a political person or whatever. So as you can see, I've done Miss Paula Deen here and tried to get a lot of fun motion in her hair like in real life. And now the final step is just having all my friends taste it. So I really appreciate you joining me for this family tradition, and you ladies are doing awesome, and I can't wait to see more videos. So happy baking!